URL 5 is not working for me.
Sorry, can you come again?
URL 5 is not working. Other
You,
URLs are working. Actually, the products which are fetching are 0.
you need to insert the records into the table.
Yeah, I have inserted the next URL which in which we have written find by category ID, that is working. In that I'm getting all the products.
Okay, we'll
By
see. We'll see that.
okay.
So guys, with this we are able to understand how to develop a REST API by using Spring Data REST concept. So can anyone tell me why we are using Spring Data REST concept in our API without REST controller? Why we are using data REST without creating the REST controller? Come on. Why we are using data REST without creating the REST controller? Can anyone tell me that?
We
As
do
there
not
was
have
no need to
any
write the
business logic,
Ah,
so we
I
are
no need
directly
to
exposing them.
I no need to write the logic. I no need to write the logic on my own. So that is the reason we are using this data REST. You no need to create a REST controller. So that is the reason we are using data REST concept. We are good. So we are able to develop the application and we tested. We need to insert some data in the backend for categories and products functionality. Now, I want to develop the front end application, guys. I want to start my front end application development. The front end application.
Sir, one quick question, sir. On the data rest, is that the same annotation that you mentioned last class, sir?
Yes, sir. REST repository. Repository REST resource.
Right, sir. That one. Yeah, exactly. Thank you,
Yeah.
sir.
Next one. So our backend API is ready, guys. Now we need to start our front end development for this API. So our backend is ready and we need to develop the front end application for this one. Okay. So backend project is there. Now front end project I'm going to develop. The front end project, the first step for the front end project is Angular setup. Okay. So we are going to use VS Code IDE to develop the front end application. So I hope all of you already have the VS Code IDE. You are learning Angular. So what is the current status of Angular classes, guys?
It's going to routings.
Routing is going.
Currently routing is going on.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we need to download and install VS Code IDE. So once it is done, then we need to do the Angular environment setup. So once the Angular setup is completed, then we need to create one Angular application, guys. We need to create an Angular application. So to create the Angular application, what is the command we are going to use? So to create the Angular application, the command we are using ng new application name. So I'm using this one as Ashok IT ecom front end application. So we already have the backend application. Now we are going to create this front end application. So once this front end application is created, run this front end application and check run Angular application. So first go to the project directory, cd space our project directory, which is Ashok IT ecom front end. Then you can use ng serve command, which is used to run our application. So that application will open in the browser. That application will open in the browser. So by default, whenever you run this Angular application, by default, app component will be loaded. By default, app component will be loaded in our application. Okay, then here app component will be loaded. So first let me create the project, guys. So go to E directory, our classes folder, 27 JRTP folder is available. Classes folder, 27 JRTP folder is available. Now major project, backend is available. Now I need to create the front end here. Now I need to create the front end application. Backend project is ready. Now I need to create the front end application. So let me open VS Code IDE from here. My VS Code IDE is opening. Here I will create my front end application. Major project, backend is there. Let me open the terminal. Okay, let me open the terminal. Close this. New terminal. Yeah, let me switch to the command prompt. Yes, I'm switching to the command prompt. I'm in the major project directory. Let me create Angular application. So it will take time. Ng new Ashok IT front end application. Ashok IT e-commerce front end. Or else directly Ng new I can use e-commerce front end application. Yes, project I'm getting creating the project. So in my system, Angular 17 version is available. So by using that, I'm creating Angular project. So CSS we are using. Yes. Yeah. So when we create the project, now you can check it. You can check it by default. App component is loading. The app component is entry point for our Angular application. App component is the entry point for our Angular application. So by default, that will be loaded. By default, that will be loaded. That is entry point for our Angular application. So meanwhile, so if we see our database, what are the records which are available in our database? So in the backend, our REST API, our microservice available in the backend, which is having the REST API methods to retrieve the records from the tables. Now in the front end, I should write the logic to fetch the data from the backend API and display that data. So for this, we have to insert some records into our database table. So I think my table does not have the data now. I will insert the records into my database table. So meanwhile here, front end application is creating. Let me go to the database. Yeah. So this is my database. Let me recreate the database, drop database and recreate it. Drop the database I had deleted, then create the database, use the database. Now show tables. Currently in the database, there are no tables available, guys. Now I need to run my application in order to create the tables. Okay, let me start the project. So when I start this project, my tables will be created. Once the tables are created, then I will insert the records into tables. Once the tables are created, then I will insert the records into tables. Okay. So for inserting the records into tables, I have prepared some SQL queries. To insert the records into tables, I have prepared some SQL queries. Good. Application is getting started. Now tables will be created. Still it is not created. Show tables. No tables available. Project is just getting started. Meanwhile, front-end project is getting created. So backend application is running.
Sir, if possible, can you change the background to light color, sir? That way it is easy to see
Sure,
the
sir.
screen.
I will change that.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Application is getting started. Show tables. Yeah, two tables got created, guys. One is product category and there is no data, and there is a product table. In that also there is no data. Now I want to insert the records. Okay, first product category laptops, mobiles, shirts. Insert laptops, mobiles and shirts. So three records are inserted into category table. Select star from category, laptops, mobile, shirts. ID is 1. Select star from product. There is no data in the product table. Now I want to insert the data in the product table also. I have prepared some queries for that. Okay. So I'm going to insert 4 laptops here. I have prepared some insert queries to insert the data. Insert into product, title, name, description, product ID 1, that is laptops. So one record I inserted into product table, second record is inserted, third record is inserted, and fourth record is inserted. Now select star from product. So in the product table, there are 4 records available. All the 4 records are belongs to category ID 1. What is the category ID 1? That category ID 1 is laptops. So for laptop category, I have inserted 4 products, guys. Similarly, for mobiles also, I'm going to insert 4 products, guys. For mobiles also, I'm going to insert 4 products. So I told you, for every category, we need to insert multiple products. So for each product, for each category, I'm inserting 4 products now. Okay. So these are the 4 records I have prepared. Insert into product category ID 2 I am using for mobiles. Category ID 2 I am using for the mobiles. Okay. So category ID 2 nothing but mobiles category. Category ID 1 is nothing but laptops category. Okay, there are 4 queries available. So inserting one mobile and second mobile and third mobile and fourth mobile. 4 mobiles I have inserted. So select star from product. So total there are 8 products available in the database. 4 products are belongs to laptops and the remaining 4 products are belongs to mobiles. 4 laptops I inserted, 4 mobiles I have inserted. Similarly, shirts. I'm inserting only one shirt, guys. I'm inserting only one record into shirts table. Shirts category 3. Okay. So I'm inserting only one shirt record into database table. Okay. Now select star from product. 8 records available. One cotton shirt record I'm inserting. For this category ID, I'm giving as 3. Okay. So insert that shirt record into table. Perfect. So with this, my queries are executed. My product category table. There are 3 categories available: mobiles, laptops, and shirts. Star from product. So total, how many products are available, guys? So total 9 products available. 4 products are belongs to laptops category ID 1. The remaining 4 products are belongs to mobiles, category ID 2. One product is belongs to category ID 3, which is shirts. So with this, my data is ready. Now my front end application also got created successfully. Now backend application is running. You can check it from the Postman whether this data is loading as expected or not. Our backend API is running successfully. Now you can access these records from the front end. You can access this from the Postman. You can test your API is working as expected or not. Okay. Yes. Now, so here our front end application is ready. We need to load the data from the backend API to our front end application. Okay. Now Postman tool opened. Product category, send the request to the product category. So we can see the records which we are getting from this product category. Yes, product categories are coming. There are 3 categories: laptops, mobiles, shirts. Earlier IDs were not coming. We exposed IDs also. Now /products. So when I access /products, all the products are coming. Product 1, product 2, 3, total 9 products available. All the products we are retrieving. So total there are 9 products available. All the products we are retrieving. So we need to retrieve the products based on the category ID. Okay, I want to retrieve the products. So I have implemented a method find by category ID. So /API /products /search /find by category ID find by category ID ID is equal to 1. Okay, so find by category ID that we need to specify to pass this as a query parameter. ID is equal to 1. So I want to retrieve the products belongs to particular category. Products search find by category ID ID is equal to 1. Send the request. We should get only 4 products. Yes, I'm getting only 4 products now. So I'm getting only 4 products. That means my find by category ID method is working as expected. I want to retrieve the products based on the category ID. So find by category ID ID is equal to 1. So whatever the URL pattern that I have given, search find by category ID question mark ID is working. So I'm giving the category ID as a 1. Category ID 1 is belongs to laptops. So I should get the products belongs to laptops category. There are 4 products available in the laptops category. I'm getting those 4 products. Suppose if I give category ID is equal to 3 shirts. There is only one shirt is available. That record is coming in the response. Only one record is coming in the response. If I give category ID is equal to 2, that is related to mobiles. So in the mobiles also 5 to 8 records belongs to mobiles. 4 mobiles available in the database. I'm able to get all the 4 mobiles in the response. That is working. And the next one, find by name containing question mark name. Okay. So if I am giving this URL pattern search find by name containing question mark name. Question mark name is equal to something like this. If I give the name as Apple, if I give something like as a Apple, send the request. So the product name which contains Apple keyword, Apple iPhone is available. So there is only one product with the name Apple. The name contains Apple. I'm getting this one. Suppose if I give this as a mobile, okay, it will give me all the products which contains mobile in the name. Find by name containing is also working. Find by category is also working. Okay, Samsung mobile. There is only one product which contains mobile in the name. So that mobile I'm getting. So that means whatever the 2 methods we created in the product repository, find by category ID, find by name containing, both methods are working. So with this, our backend API is fully working as expected. I loaded the data also into database table. My backend API is working as expected. Now we need to start our front-end development. So what is the first step? Create Angular project. So I have downloaded and installed my VS Code IDE and I have the Angular setup in my system and I created one Angular application and that application creation got completed. Now I want to run that application. To run the application, go into that Angular project, cd space project directory. I'm in the project directory. What is the command to run? Ng serve --open. So this command I am using, which is used to run our Angular application. This command I am using to run our Angular application. Application is getting started. So once the application is started, by default, that app component will be loaded. Application started, by default app component will be loaded. Localhost colon 4200, localhost colon 4200. I'm trying to access my application now. Yes, Angular application is loaded. Congratulations, your application is running. Now by default app component page is loaded. If you want to make some changes, go to the application, src. Here app component is available. App component.html. There is some data. Remove that data and I'm writing some message. Okay, welcome to Ashok IT JRTP. So I changed the text in the app component.html that should reflect. Yes, it is reflecting in my web page. It is reflecting in my web page. That means my application is working as expected. That means my application is working as expected. So the first step is completed. Angular project setup. So backend setup is completed. Backend API is running. In the backend, the data is also loaded into database table. And we tested the backend API from the Postman. It is working as expected. Now we started our front-end development. In the front end, the first step, Angular project creation and executing the Angular project. Now, I want all of you to create the Angular project parallelly along with me. Can you guys create this project because we need to do the development parallelly. So today, I will give some tasks for the team guys. Okay, who are interested to work in this project, please send your Git repository URL in the chat box. So I want to make you people as a collaborator in order to develop this project. The people who are interested to work in this project, send your Git repository email ID in the chat box. So I'll be back in 1 minute guys. Send your email in the chat box. Yeah, fine guys. So with this, our project is created. I got few email IDs in the chat box. Okay, fine. So who are interested to contribute in the project development? So I will give some task for you people in the Angular application. I want you people to implement the functionalities that what I'm expecting from you. Okay, good. Now, so the today task, first step Angular project setup is completed. Then the second task is guys, the second step is retrieve the products from the backend and display those products in the front end. So from the backend, we are able to access the products. Okay, slash products. When I send the request, I'm getting all the products from the backend. Whatever the products are coming from the backend, I need to display those products in the front end. So in order to do that process, the first step is create product class to bind backend application response in the front end application. So when I send the request to slash API products, I'm getting the products data in the JSON format. Products data I'm getting in the JSON format. That data I need to access in the front end and I need to display that data in the JSON format. So in order to do this, the first step, create a product class to bind backend API response in front-end application. So for this one class, I am going to create that class name ng generate class product. So I'm creating one product class. By using that class, we will map. By using this class, we will map backend API response in the front-end application. Creating one class which is used to map backend API response in the front-end application. For that, I will use some common directory. So common directory I'm using, in that I'm going to create one product class. So go to our Angular application. Let me open another command prompt here to execute my commands. Okay, so this is my project directory. I want to generate one TypeScript class, ng generate class. In the common folder, I want to create a class with a name called product. Okay, so this command is not available CLI outside workspace. Sorry, I'm outside of the workspace. Go inside the workspace, CD e-commerce front end application. Yes, I'm inside the project directory. Now let me create the class ng generate class common product class I'm creating. Okay, so I have created one product class. Go to app, common folder is created. Inside this common folder, product.ts class is created. So inside this class, we need to represent the variables to map backend API response in the front end. So in the backend, the data is available in the table. That data we are retrieving to the front end. So I want to hold this backend API response in the front end application. So for this, I'm going to use this class. Let me take a constructor. Inside this constructor, I will write the variables. Okay, public ID. So which is a number. Then I will specify public name, which is a string. Public constructor I am using. Okay, by using this constructor, I'm declaring these variables ID, name, and public title, which is a string. You can see what is the data we are getting. ID getting, name is coming, description is coming, title, price, URL, active switch, stock, date created, like that lot of data we are getting. So to hold all this data, we are creating one class here. ID, name, title, then public description, which is a string, and public image URL, which is also a string, and public active, which is Boolean, that product is active or not, and public units in stock, which is a number, okay, and public date created. For this, we are taking a date, and public last updated, which is also a date type. So this is our product class, guys, which is used to hold the backend API response in the front end. So when I send the request to backend / products, I'm getting all the products data in the JSON format. To hold this JSON data, I created one class in the front end. So this is my front end class that I have created. So this is export class product. These are the variables I'm taking in the product class. These are
Sir,
the variables
unit
I'm
price
taking
you
in
have
the,
not taken.
sorry,
Price.
Unit.
price I have not taken.
Yeah.
Okay, price, unit price, sorry, title, description, public, unit price that I have taken, that is a number type to display the price of the product. So the unit price is coming, the price of the product coming from the backend in the JSON. This is the variable. So whatever the JSON keys are available, with those keys only we need to create the variables in our class, guys. With those keys only we need to create the variables in our class. Then only the data mapping will happen properly. If your keys and variable names are not matching, then data mapping will not happen. So with this, our class is ready, which is used to hold the response in the front end application. Then next one, second functionality, create HTTP, create a service class to make the HTTP call, HTTP request to backend application. So in my front end application, I should write the logic to call the backend API. For that, I'm going to create one service class in the front end. How to create that service in the front end? The command is ng generate service. The services I will create in one services folder. The service name I am giving as a product. Binding classes I'm keeping in the common folder. Service classes I'm keeping in the services folder. So this is ng generate service. So I'm going to use a product service which is used to send a request to our backend application. So let me create one product service. In that product service, I will write the logic to make the request to the backend API. ng generate service. Okay. Inside the services, I'm creating a service with a name called product. Yes. ng generate services product service I have created. Now if you see inside the services folder, product service.ts file is available. So inside this product service, we can write the logic to send the request to our backend API. So what is our backend API URL now? What is our backend API URL now? So private API URL is equal to http:// so this URL I can take now. So this is my URL. I want to send the request to this URL, which will give me products from the backend. Those products I want to display in my front end application, guys. Those products I want to display in my front end application. So to send that request, I need a HTTP client object. So let me inject HTTP client object here. Private HTTP client module I'm injecting in this service so that I can send the request to the backend API by using this HTTP client. So to send that request, let me write one method called getProducts method. Okay, so I'm taking observable here, which is going to give me list of products. So I will specify that as a product array. Let me import this product now. Yes, let me import the observable also. Yes, product array I am getting. Now, so the products are coming directly in the JSON array format, or the products are coming in the embedded products, guys. How the products are coming? Are we getting the product JSON array directly, or we are getting the product array in the embedded format?
Embedded format.
So we are getting the products in the embedded format. So how to read the data from that embedded format? For that, I will create one interface here to map that data. So get a response. Get response. So whatever the response that we are getting, in the embedded format, I want to read the data from that embedded format. Get response underscore embedded. So embedded array is coming. From that embedded array, I want to read the only products in the form of product array. I want to read only products in the form of product array. So get products method. So if you see the response structure inside the embedded, my products are available. So what I am trying to say in this interface, from this embedded, take the products and map that products into product array. So here I am writing get products method with observable. So it is asynchronous request. Okay. Now this dot HTTP client dot get. I want to send a get request. So what is the response we are expecting in the form of our interface? Get response interface we have taken here. Get request I want to send. What is the URL? So this dot API URL is available. I'm sending a request to this API URL. Whatever the response we are getting from the API, I want to process that response by using pipe method, map the backend API response to response dot underscore embedded dot products. Map the response to this products. Okay. Now return this response. So I'm sending a get request. I'm sending a get request to this one. Okay. So I'm sending a get request to this one. So this get request I'm sending to this API URL, whatever the URL is available, and whatever the response that we are getting, we are mapping that. Okay. So let me import the map also from this RxJS parameters. Yes. So that map concept also we are importing from observable map and observable we are importing from RxJS now. So observe we are using HTTP client in the service. HTTP client dot get, the get response we are getting this dot API URL, and whatever the response we are getting, we are mapping that response to our embedded products. So our main agenda, whatever the embedded array we are getting, that embedded array we are reading and we are converting into product array. We are reading into product array. This is our service. Which is having the logic to send the get request to our backend API. When you send the request to the backend API, it is giving the response in the form of embedded product array. So to read the data from that embedded product array, I created one interface. In this, I specified embedded products. That embedded products I'm using in the pipe method. Whatever the response we are getting from the backend, from that response we are converting to the product array. And that product array I'm returning from my get products method. So this our service is ready. But the thing is, when we are using HTTP client in the service, that HTTP client we need to configure in the app config.ts file. In the app config.ts file, provider router is available. HTTP client also we need to configure here. Provider router to the routes, it is available in the application config. Similarly, we need to configure in this provider, we need to configure HTTP client also. Provide HTTP client concept. Okay. So that the HTTP client we need to configure in this application, then only it will work. Otherwise, it will not work, guys. In the app.config.ts file, you need to specify one more concept here, which is provide HTTP client. Otherwise, you can't use the HTTP client directly in your application. So this is one extra step that we need to do when you want to use HTTP client in your service layer. So what is this change, guys? Configure HTTP client provider in app.config.ts file. When you are injecting HTTP client in any of your application, okay, so let me make it as a step 2. Configure HTTP client provider in app.config.ts file. How I am configuring this? So provide HTTP client in the app config class. We are going to configure like this. Now step number 3, create a service class to make HTTP request to the backend application. So this is my service logic which is used to send the request to the backend application. I'm using one interface to map the response. Then I'm returning the response in the form of product array. Observable product array I'm returning. Now we need to write the logic. We need to write the logic in the component. So we need to create one component to call this service method. So create product list component, guys. Create one component called product list component. Okay. Ng generate component product list component I am going to create. From this product list component, I will call the service, and whatever the product is available, I will display those products in our front end application. So let me generate one component now. Let me generate one component now. So the component name is product list. Ng generate component. Component name is product list. One component I'm creating to get the list of products and display them in the template. Okay, one component got created, which is product list component. Product list component got created. Now go to this product list component, product list component.ts file. Now inside this product list component, I will try to access product service method. So service method will give the data in the array format. So I'm taking a product array, one empty array I am declaring to hold the response. I'm declaring one empty array to hold the response. Then I need to talk to the product service. So let me inject the product service here by using constructor. By using constructor, I'm injecting product service. Now, so when the products should be loaded, when this component is loaded, I want to load the products. When the component is loaded, then I want to load the products. For this, I will use implements on init. Okay, one lifecycle method I am going to implement. Whenever this component is loaded, then this ng on init method will be called. Ng on init method will be called. In this on init method, I will call the service method. This dot product service dot get products. Then subscribe to the response of the products, whatever the data that we are getting, subscribe to that. Then this dot products is equal to that data. Okay, so this is my product list component. In this list component, I'm implementing on init, which is a interface kind of thing. Now, whenever we implement this, we need to override ng on init method. When this ng on init method will be called, so whenever this component is loaded, then this method will be called. Now what I want to do in this method, I'm calling my service layer method. I'm subscribing to the response of the service layer method, and I'm storing into products variable. Now this products variable I can access. This product variable I can access in my template to display the data. So by using ng for directive, I can display this data. Okay. ng for directive I will use to display the data. Let temp product of products. Products array is available. Products array is available. Okay. So view problem, it is expecting ng for, so forms module we need to inject, guys. Okay. ng for directive I am using. So whatever the product array we are sending, that array I want to access in the template and I want to display the data. Okay, let me display temp product dot name. Temp product dot name I am displaying. Then temp product dot unit price also I am going to display. Temp product dot name and temp product dot unit price also. And just I want to display the products here. I just want to display the products here. Now I want to invoke this product list component from the app component. Okay, product list component having a selector, product list component available. Access this component from the app component. Access this from the app component.ts. App component.html is available. Now in this, I'm going to invoke the selector of product list component. I'm going to invoke this product list component. Okay. So when you access app component, so app component should access product list component. Product list component is having ng on init to call the service layer method, which will give the response. That response I want to print in the template file. So for this, we need to inject one module, guys. So that is called forms module here. Imports forms module. When we are using ng for directive, then that forms module we need to import. Okay, for directive used in the template, ng for directive for the common module was imported. Use built-in control flow for this directive imports array of this component. Okay, let us see this, what it is expecting from us. So I'm trying to import the forms module in order to do this operation. Now, so with this my logic is ready. So what I have done, my product list component is ready. In the product list component, what is the logic I have written? I'm accessing my service layer method. So I have injected product service. I have injected product service into my list component, and I am implementing onInit interface, and I am overriding ng onInit method. What I am doing in the ng onInit method, I am calling the service layer method, and it is returning product array in the observable object. I am subscribing to that response, and I am storing into products variable. That products variable data we need to display in the front end. The product variable data we need to display in the front end. I created product list component. Okay, then write the presentation logic to display products in the template. Write presentation logic. Write presentation logic in product list component template file. So what is the presentation logic I'm writing to display that data? That is, just I want to display the products information. I just want to display the products information. For that, I'm using ng for directive. Whatever the products array is available, that array I am printing in the HTML. Then once this process is completed, product list component will not work by default. So what I need to do? Invoke product list component. Invoke product list component from app component. Invoke product list component from the app component using component selector. So product list component is having a selector. Okay, so this is the selector of the component. I'm accessing that component in the app component. App product list. This is the component selector I'm accessing. Okay, then once it is done, then run the application and see products display. Whether our products are displaying or not, we need to check it. So go to inspect mode. Products are not coming. That means there is some problem. Our front end and back end integration is not working as expected. If it is working as expected, I should be able to see the response here. I should be able to see the response because my application is running. My application is in the running mode, but I'm not able to see the products here. I'm not able to see the products here. Yes, we are getting one problem, that is course policy issue we are getting. What is the problem we are getting? Course policy issue we are getting, that means we are not able to access backend APIs in our front end because of course issue. Because of the course issue, we are not able to integrate. Because of the course issue, we are not able to integrate. So how to resolve this course issue? To resolve the cross issue, we need to specify one annotation, which is cross origin. What is the annotation that I am going to specify? Cross origin annotation. If any request is coming from our Angular application localhost colon 4200, if any request comes from this Angular application, I want to allow the request. By default, because of the course policy, that integration is not working. Because of the course policy, that integration is not working. So to resolve that problem, I have configured one annotation that is called cross origin annotation. I want to enable the communication between two servers. Okay, so let me run this application now. So in the both repositories, I configured cross origin annotation to resolve this course policy issue. To resolve this course policy issue, I have added that cross origin annotation. I have added cross origin annotation to resolve this issue. Yes, application started. Now go to front end, refresh. Angular app is running. Okay. There is no course issue, but still the data is not loading. I think modules importing having a problem. In the src app product list component.html, ng for directive we are using, but it is not recognizing that ng for directive. So we imported forms module, and let me import common module also. Yes, common module also I have imported. Now yes, ng for issue got resolved. Now check this, products are loading or not from the backend. Our front end application, yes. Are we able to get the products from the backend? So total 9 products available, 4 laptops are available, 4 mobiles are available, 1 shirt is available. So are we able to load the products data from the backend application?
Yes, sir.
Are we able to load the products data from the backend application? Now you see what are the steps that we have done here. So first step is I have created my Angular application. This is the command, sorry, not this one. Yeah, this one. First step, I have done the Angular project setup and I'm able to run the Angular project. Then the second step is I want to retrieve the products from the backend and I want to display in the front end. I'm able to success in that. I'm able to retrieve the data from the backend and I'm displaying in the front end, basic display, basic integration. What I have done to do that? So first step, I want to retrieve products from the backend and display in the front end. Backend application, this is the URL we are calling now, products URL, which is giving the data in the JSON format. So to map that JSON response, what I have done, I have created one product class, okay, which is used to map backend API response in the front end application. This is the code of that class. Whatever the variables are available, I have configured. Then step number 2, as we are going to use the HTTP client module, we need to configure HTTP client provider in the app config ts file. Otherwise, you can't use HTTP client. So this change that is happening from Angular 17 onwards. Earlier, we just need to import HTTP client module. But in the Angular 17, standalone components concept came into picture. So that's why we need to configure this HTTP client in the app.config.ts file. So once it is done, now go to step number 3. In the step number 3, I'm creating a service class in order to send the request to the backend. To send the request to the backend, HTTP client already configured as a provider. So that HTTP client I have injected into my service class, and I am writing one method to send the get request to the backend. So if you see the backend API response, it is not direct JSON array. That JSON array is wrapped into embedded object. So we need to take only this data from this response, which is available in the embedded container. So how to read that data from the embedded container, how to map it. So that's where I have taken one interface with a name called get response. So whatever the embedded container available, in that embedded container, what are the products available, I am mapping them to product array. Now I am calling HTTP client.getRequest. I'm expecting the response in the get response interface for mapping. This is my API URL. So whatever the response we are getting, from the response we are taking only products. Okay. So this is the response we are getting. This is the complete response. From this, in the embedded container, products available. I want to read only this data. Direct data I want to read. So embedded dot products, which will give me array. So how I am taking that? Embedded dot products response. Then it will be converted into product array format. So this is my service class, which is going to read the response, which is going to get the response from the backend API. Then to display this response in the UI, I created one product list component. So in the product list component, I'm implementing ng on init. I'm implementing ng on init. Then I'm overriding this method. So every time when the component is loaded, this method will be executed. So what I am doing in this method, I am calling service method. So component class wants to call the service method. So that's why I injected the service in the component and I'm calling the service method. I'm subscribing to the response of the service, storing into products variable. That products variable I am displaying, that is an array. That array data we are displaying in the template file, in the iteration. ng for directive I am using and I am iterating that data. As we are using ng for directive, so in the component we need to import that module. What is that? Common module and forms module I am importing. So in order to access that ng for directive. So once it is done, that product list component and a template is ready, then I want to access this product list component in the app component. So when the application is started, app component will be loaded. When the app component is loaded, I want to load my product list component also. When the app component is loaded, I want to load my product list component also. So that's why by using the product list component selector, I'm loading this component in the app component. Okay. So where we are loading that? So if you see the app component.html, I removed all the logic of the app component and I'm just accessing the selector of the product list component. So whenever application is loaded, app component will load. App component is loading the product list component. It is displaying the products data. It is displaying the products data here. Just basic display we are having for the products. Just basic display we are having for the products now. Are you clear with my point? So when I am accessing, I got some problem with the integration. So to resolve that problem, in the backend I configured cross origin annotation. Cross policy, when two servers are running in the same system in the same browser, if one server want to access another server, by default browser will not allow. Cross policy issue, cross origin request policy failure is happening. So to resolve that problem, in the interface, in the repository interface, I added cross origin annotation. I want to allow the request coming from the Angular application. Angular application is running on the port number 4200. So with this, the communication is successful. Products are coming. So the products are available in the database. My REST API taking the products from the database and giving to the Angular. Angular is displaying those products in the front end. But currently, the product's display is not looking good, we can make it beautiful and we can display this product's data in the table format also. We can display this product's data in the table format also. Are you able to understand the basic integration?
Yes,
Are you
sir.
able to understand the basic integration what I have done today? 2 steps I completed, project setup I completed, and retrieving the products from the back end and displaying in the front end. Okay, in the next session, what we do, we will make this page display beautiful. So instead of displaying like this, I want to display all the products in the table format. Instead of this, I want to display the products in the proper table format with margins, borders, alignment. I want to apply some CSS, bootstrap classes I'm going to use, and I'm going to beautify the products display in the table format. That is going to our step 3. 2 steps are completed. Project setup is completed. Retrieving the products and displaying the front end is completed. Now the third step is we need to beautify products display in the table format. We need to beautify products display in the table format. By using Bootstrap, we are going to beautify that table's display. We are going to beautify that products display in the table format. Are you clear with my point?
Yes, sir.
So
Are you
we
clear
have,
with my point?
excuse me, sir.
Yes?
So we have used observable, right?
Yes.
What's that mean for, sir?
Did you attend Angular class?
Yes, sir.
So did Sir not explain what is observable? Guys, what is observable in the Angular?
To get the response from the backend.
Observable is one Angular concept which is used to map our response. So it is going to make our request. It is like event driven programming. Whenever we send a request, so it is going to hold that response in the observable format. Yeah. So guys, I want all
Because
of
of my SBMS class, I'm not able to attend the Angular classes, sir. I attended like 15-20. Afterwards, I am not able to attend, sir. I'm trying to watch those videos. Any of your videos are there, sir, on the website on the Angular?
no, sir. Currently not available.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. I will watch those videos, sir. So basically,
Sir,
this
can you
HTTP
give that
client,
query,
why are
sir?
we using, sir? Just to get the communication, sir, with the backend?
Yes.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay, guys. Now today I want all of you to complete this application development. Today I
Can
want
you
all
give
of
that
you.
queries as well?
Sorry?
Queries. Can you give that queries as well?
Sorry?
The queries
Uh,
that you have used to insert the data.
You can write those queries, na? These just insert queries. These are just insert queries to insert the data into table. Don't you want to write it? Don't you want to write those queries? Yes, I will add the queries in the notes. People are very lazy. Okay, next one. So what is the task for today, guys? Whatever I am completing in the class, you should complete that task on your own, because everything I'm adding in the notes. After following these notes also, if you are not able to complete, then it's waste of doing the project course. Actually, I should not give the code. Actually, I'm adding this code for 1 or 2 days just to complete the basic setup of the project. I will give the code. After that, I will not give that also. You need to write that code on your own. You should be able to write that code on your own. So I want everybody to complete the project setup. I want everybody to complete the project setup before coming to Monday session. So Monday, I want you people to show me the products display in the proper table format. In the Monday session, I want you people to show me proper products display in the table format. If you guys are doing the project, then only you will get the benefit. If you are just watching the class, if you are just listening to the class and leaving, then there is no use of it. So please take it seriously and develop this. My backend API is ready. I inserted the data and I tested that also. Okay, now I want you people to do the work whatever I have done in the class. So backend nodes I have updated already in the portal, whatever the code I have implemented, what is the URL patterns. So people are asking SQL queries for this. So I'm going to add the SQL queries also in the nodes. DB queries. These are the database queries to insert the data. So 4 queries to insert the data into category. Then these are the queries to insert the data into product table for laptops. This is for mobiles. This is for shirts. For beauty, I'm not inserting any data. So these queries also I added in the nodes. So set up the backend and load the data into database. And this is my front end application. Create the project and load the products and display the products. I want you to complete this beautifying the products display in the table format. Whatever the products are there, I want you people to display those products in the table format. Okay, I will update these nodes. Backend nodes and front end nodes I'm going to update in the portal. Yeah, major e-commerce backend nodes. Yes, any questions, anyone? Backend,
So
front.
the URL 5, I was not able to access.
It is working for me. I have shown you, right? I think your method is having something wrong.
No, actually I used the find by category method, but
I will give option to share your screen 1 minute.
okay.
Yeah, guys, notes is updated. Could you please check it for both the backend and the front end? I have updated the notes. Yeah, who is facing the issue? What's your name?
Tejal.
Yeah, share your screen.
Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Actually, using the find by category, I'm able to fetch the data. But when I'm trying to use this one, I'm getting 0 products.
Can you go to your category repository? Path is category. Category entity. Can you open category entity? ID name, set of products you have given. Go to product repository.
Better setter is not there. Product.
She is using Lombok. Category product repository. Product repository. Products. Find by category ID. So you are not able to access category slash ID slash products. So
Yeah. And the query which has been executed, that is also correct in the
Select a star from products where category ID is equal to given value. Can you go to Postman again? /API/category/ Can you give ID as 1 there? Product ID, category ID 1 instead of 3. 1/products.
I've not inserted anything for one actually.
For which category ID you have data?
Only 3.
Okay, give that 3 there. Product entities we are not getting.
Products.
After products, give the slash there. Remove the slash, send the request. Show me table once, database table, category table and product table. Okay, 1, 2, 3 shirts, laptops, mobiles available. Show me the product. Okay, only category ID you are having the data. Data is correct. Category ID 3 is available. Name is available. Okay. Can you try with find by category name? Is that working? The set.
Yeah, that is working actually. Um, this is working.
That is working. I will see that what is the issue in that. Once I will check in my system and I will update in the group.
Okay. Thank
Sir, I
you.
think association mapping, like @ data should be not recommended. Like @ getter and setter method you can use it.
So remove that data and try with getter setter once. If it is working, okay. Otherwise, I will do some analysis from my end.
Okay, fine.
Good, guys. So I want all of you to complete this implementation before coming to Monday. By Monday, everyone should show me the products display in the proper table format. Okay.
Hi,
Fine.
Ashok.
Yeah.
Quick question, sir. So, do you have any Angular videos of yours from the previous batches where we can, get the access of, like, by paying and getting the access?
No, sir, I don't have, sir. Some of my videos are there, but they are in the YouTube only. I will share the playlist of that Angular.
Okay. Yeah.
The
Thanks,
YouTube
sir.
only they are available. I will share the list of that.
Do you have any plan in the near future for starting an Angular batch?
No, sir, I don't have any plan now.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
So I want all of you to complete this before coming to Monday session, guys. Thank you.